Well, joining us now is the Heritage Foundation president, Kevin Roberts. So, Kevin, here we are again with the federal government targeting people on one side of the political aisle. For those who maybe aren't familiar with what Arctic frost is, maybe give us a primer and then your thoughts about the latest revelations.
You bet, Katie. Thanks for having me. So the origins of Arctic frost go back to the spring of 2022, when Jack Smith was essentially ordered by the Biden administration. FBI was part of this as well, obviously, in investigating organizations and people who dare ask questions about the validity and integrity of the 2020 presidential election. These aren't people, obviously, who are seeking to overthrow the government. There are a lot of friends of yours, a lot of friends of mine on that list, 430 conservative organizations and people. All they were doing was saying that there's clearly a problem with election integrity in this country, and they wanted to work on it. And so, therefore, Jack Smith, the FBI, the entire Biden administration, for the next 3+ years, start talking about updates on this case weekly, obviously leading to the point that these conservative organizations and individuals realized that they were being subpoenaed by the government. To sum up here, Katie, the problem is this. Whatever the left accuses the right of doing, for example, right now, the left accuses the Trump administration of so-called ending democracy, it's actually what they're guilty of, and there must be accountability. I can't thank Senator Chuck Grassley enough for his perseverance in getting to the bottom of this.
You know, we've got the numbers in the subpoenas. I would predict and maybe project a little bit that it's even wider in the number of individuals because there was electronic invasion, they went into the clouds, they went into so much more, which means it potentially could expand to anyone in contact with those lawmakers, family member, professionally or otherwise. Next steps that need to happen out of this. The American people need to see accountability in the form of prosecutions. We need to have the justice system right-sided on this issue, Kevin, don't we?
We have to get to the bottom of this. And David, I would like to think that whatever remaining friends I have on the political left would agree, for the sake of this republic, for the integrity of the work that you do in the media, that we at Heritage do in public policy, that we can go work on policy even when there are differences of opinion and not be investigated by our own government. But the next steps, that's the really crucial thing. The Trump administration needs to obviously pursue this. I have no doubt that they will and that they are. But it also underscores the point that we've been saying at Heritage for the last few years. Sometimes agencies and organizations are so rotten to the core, they're unreformable. I'm afraid that's the situation with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, in spite of all the good men and women who have rank and file positions there. I applaud Director Patel for what he's trying to do. God bless him for doing it. But I think we have to get really serious so that the next time a leftist administration is in office, those of us who happen to be conservative and work towards those ends don't have to worry about being investigated by our government for exercising our political rights.
Yeah, Kevin, you know, we are Americans and we take the violation of civil rights very seriously, and Democratic administrations have been doing this against conservatives for more than a decade. It started with the IRS, where officials were going after mom and pop Tea Party groups, dragging them into the mud with these long lists of government intimidation, not allowing them to politically organize. The people responsible for that got payouts to retire early. Then you have Crossfire Hurricane, FBI agents like Peter Strzok and Andy McCabe. They also get to retire, paid by the American taxpayer, and benefit from what they did. And now we have Arctic frost, Jack Smith, same kind of thing. So not only are they not being held accountable or punished, they've actually been rewarded with American dollars that are paid by the very people that they were prosecuting. I mean, I think that we have to have accountability, and the Justice Department has certainly shown that they're willing to do that. But the track record here for that is very slim.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's the case. And you'd say it so well, Katie, that this really shouldn't be a partisan issue that is trying to get to the bottom of this. And obviously, this isn't the kind of thing that we would ever tolerate on the right if an aligned administration were doing it to the left. That's what the left is accusing them of doing. But ultimately, as it regards the prospects, I think there's another really important next step, if I may. And it is for any of those individuals or organizations on that list, for that matter, any conservative organization, I can tell you Heritage certainly is doing this, they need to submit Freedom of Information Act requests to the Department of Justice and to the FBI. I don't mean to flood the inboxes of our friends in those departments, but those individuals and organizations need to get the totality of the information that the government has on them. The responses we've gotten thus far from Mr. Smith aren't just disappointing, they're grotesque, and they really speak to a much larger, long-running problem.
And just a wrap comment on this, it needs to go deeper. This wasn't just the people at the top. The left has been very good at seeding these organizations with deputy director or further down the chain, knowing they'll be there for a long time. Kevin Roberts, thank you.
Thanks for having me.